Brandi.
And special guest.
Chad. Back from the dead, baby.
One of our founding fathers.
Matt died.
Matt's actually dead, yeah.
He couldn't make it tonight because he is
dead to us.
And then it comes out, and then he actually was sick, and then we're like, ooh.
I thought he was detained by the airport.
It's like
when was the first time?
When that plane went down.
Right.
They talked about, I forget who was on it, a bunch of Texas people.
They talked a lot about planes going down.
Yeah. One went
That's
down.
all Texas is about. You don't know?
Was it Waylon Jennings or somebody?
He was
no. See,
on the plane.
How do they not reference that? There's a very famous song referencing that entire plane crash, American Pie by Don McLean.
Oh.
Because that's the day that music died, because so many musical artists died in that plane crash.
I always wondered what that song was about.
Well, they definitely did not speak like it was they're like, oh, the plane crashed. And I was like, that's not important. Yeah.
I was like, this is a huge piece of musical history.
Forgive us, folks. We have committed a grave error. We have started talking about the show without the rundown. Brandi, take it away.
Maybe we'll jump right into a rundown. Everything's bigger in this rundown. Because this week on episode 128 of Nateland, the guys gabbed about the Lone Star state of Texas. Baby Bates blubbered about the trauma he feels from being second choice as parade marshal of Lebanon. And speaking of trauma, Dusty recollected his own painful cottontails of woe from visits at Aunt Pud's over the years. Aaron narrowly escaped being featured on a wanted poster when he wore fatigues at the wrong time. And in Montgomery, Nate had moves like Jagger to get home to his family. A few Texas facts were peppered in, and there were so many celebrities mentioned in this episode, I couldn't even choose one to dress like.
Except for the ones on that plane.
Yeah.
You don't know what they were wearing because they died.
They were celebrities beforehand. I'm sure there's footage.
Yeah. All right, Jen, you want to get into some comments?
Yeah, I like how we ended that rundown. Forgive me, Brandi. This is just really funny. We ended that rundown talking about you and how you couldn't choose something to wear, but we were just talking about the Sports Center show thing and not making it about us. And you're like, and I couldn't figure out what to wear this week on Nateland.
On Folkland.
Yeah, well, I was making the joke that you were
I know what I'm wearing on Nateland this week.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. It's on the
what
hanger.
did you wear while you're watching this? The folks want to know.
Folks want to know.
Everybody at home. Okay. All right. We got a classic Peterson review, folks.
Oh yeah.
For old time's sake. Oh, I should have let you read it, Chad.
Next time.
Late. Here we go. Folkland Podcast number 21, World War II. Did you watch it, Chad?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, I was expecting you to say no, but that's actually very nice. Featuring left side only audio for the second week in a row at no extra charge. Jacy, do you know what that's about?
I think it has to do with his own headphones.
Yeah, maybe buy a new
So
pair.
ETP, we love you, but you need to buy some new earbuds, buddy.
I almost said putty, thanks to your rundown. Okay.
Come on, buddy.
Your
Putty?
own Seinfeld reference there.
David Putty? Justinville on air. Did anybody reach out to him? Remember?
I will. I
Do it
didn't.
quick.
I didn't.
Do it
Oh,
right
gosh.
now. Okay.
I will do it right now. See what
Stay
he
tuned,
says.
folks. Justinville's going to be on air. Pearl
We have a
Harbor
stay-
pants
stay
were in
tuned.
style. JW, how do you say that? Check? Not so much. I don't know what this means. Reply ETP. It was meant to say no thank you. You see, every detail in these reviews is pertinent to something y'all say. I'd advise watching the episode while following along with the review. I'm going to make sure to carve some time out for that this upcoming week to watch our. Yeah. I won the long comment contest, then I didn't. Womp womp. Make a joke. Kill Brandi as the 6 degrees of Kung Fu bacon. I felt like I was going to cuss reading that. 6 degrees of Kung Fu bacon.
Woo, easy.
Operation Mincemeat. It was Greece and Sicily. Leave Spain alone. excellent movie. I mean, Colin Firth, right? I don't know what that's about. Baseball and softball should be more inclusive. I nominate volleyball. Jen is, I almost read this coronated after a Kong summer romance, that engagement we heard about. Breakfast
That's
Bites,
funny.
2023 Folkland teasers, and Babble Baits for life.
Folkland teasers, indeed.
So what do you want me to message, Justin? You want me to say?
How are we going to tell people? Is this surprise?
I
Okay.
forgot. I forgot. I'm sorry.
He wanted his comment on World War II
Oh,
and how
okay.
he was painted as a Nazi.
Well, I don't know if they went that far, did they?
I think they did, Brandi.
Jen,
Okay.
oddly enough, I've been referenced since I got this haircut. Several of my youth kids are like, "You look like you're like a German Nazi," and I was like, "This is a Nazi haircut? Like, is that even a thing?"
Ooh.
Did they know that Nazis were predominantly blonde-haired and blue-eyed people?
No.
What
No.
kind of
This is
history?
2022.
No,
Nobody
say
knows
no.
history, Jen. Nobody knows
Yeah.
history now.
Got to
They're all
bury
on
history
TikTok.
deep in
They
the
know history from the
To where
TikTok.
it never talks
the tick
again.
the talk.
Yes. It looks good,
Tickety-tock.
Chad. It looks really nice.
Thank you.
All right, well, Jacy,
I'm
I will
getting
just
nothing
keep
on it.
going here.
Go
since you
ahead.
were doing
I
that.
know. Sorry, go ahead.
We got a comment from Mr. Blank, the mayor of Dusty Town. Let's go, folks. Thanks for the Dusty Town podcast shout-outs. If y'all ever do want the curator of Dusty Town on, I don't know if he meant the creator or curator, but points to you for the fancy word.
I wonder if there's a small museum in Dusty Town that he curates.
Well, if we want him on, he'd be all in. Thankful that Jennifer and I are no longer mortal enemies, except we are now that you called me by my legal name. Special shout out to Jason Williams, a new subscriber who commented, "So happy this exists! My whole life has been made better, and cancer left my body, and thank you." That's what he said, folks. Direct quote.
No quotes on that. Just part of it.
All the
know.
quotes.
Some creative liberties were taken, I believe, in some
illegal.
of that, right?
It's
Well,
illegal to
thank
do
you,
that.
Jason. Yeah.
Well, Brandi, you have a folk feature here. You want to talk about?
We do have a folk feature. Our very own folk, Angie. Ooh, you're going to make me say that last name, Angie.
Miguez. Come on.
Miguez, thank you. I'm sorry, I've never seen it before in my life outside of Angie.
Well,
Sorry, maybe you went to school with a whole slew of Miguez, but I didn't.
I actually married into the Miguez family for a time.
Was that King Kong's full name?
Cousin. It was his cousin.
Okay.
Are we going to need a whole episode of your relationships? Because these are just coming out.
Can I please be back for that one? I would love to be back for
Oh
that
my
one.
gosh. No, you have so much that you could say, Chad, that
It would all be good things about you.
She's like,
okay, sure.
All right.
About-
So
about you.
Angie Miguez, say it again, Miguez, and Angie Miguez updated her Nateland bingo card, and it was delightful. Thank
Updated
you
Awesome.
very
it.
much
What do
for
you
sharing that with the folks, Angie.
updated it?
Yeah, she posted it, and she said she had made a former bingo card, and this was an updated version.
Oh, I'd like
That's
to
cool.
see the former one because it seemed
Yeah.
like a lot of the ones on there were kind of beginning of the
The pod.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So thanks for doing that, Angie. Thanks for making it so
You wanna,
all the
like-
folks could see it.
Share with people what's on it.
Sure. Let's.
if
You
you don't
talk
have it.
about the next thing, and I'll do that.
I actually have
Well-
a saved picture right here.
Oh,
So-
okay. You do it then. You do it.
Right here on my phone.
This she surprises us, folks. Here we go.
We've got a hello folks right there in the middle of the board.
Mm.
That's always good. That's like your free space, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rhode Island used as a measurement. You could have checked that off this week. It was mentioned. That was thrown out there.
Yep.
Stories of baby breakfast. Oh, it's talking about Eleanor.
Yeah.
Penguin. I don't think that's been said since
I know.
it was
I
said.
know.
A
It's a
penguin
good
bird.
one, though.
Yeah.
We're having a good time. Dusty Town ad. Office reference. Blowfly's nose whistles Dixie. That's funny.
That was referenced this week. The nose whistle.
Me saying
Yes.
me saying that's funny and then not laughing made me think of how Dusty talked about the people in the audience who like were like
Mhm.
who were like the whole time, and they're like, I laughed so hard at your show.
Yeah.
Haven't laughed that hard in
It was
years.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Aaron's
Yeah.
gout's acting a fool. Let's get fit. I guess she's talking about the weight loss challenge. Whose phone was that? Viewers
mine?
at home, was that you? Oh, Aaron Leonad. Becker's squirrels cause a ruckus. She's kind of creative. Bandy. Yeah, stories from life on the roads. I'd be curious if anybody got a bingo this week. Fun fact, I scheduled a calendar invite on my friend's calendar to play this and then forgot all about it. So
Maybe
Fun
we should
story.
play it next week and talk about it.
I think
maybe we should just do
to
a
play
watch
it,
party.
You have to mix them up a little bit, or everybody could get bingo at the same time.
What do you mean?
Nah, we don't have to talk about it anymore.
Okay, she's done. All right. Well, let's
That's
talk
good.
about pre-comments. There was a lot of stuff that happened before they even got to the comments.
Oh, yeah, right out the gate with Aaron's
The active shooter.
photo.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
I almost said best night of my life, but it was actually 7 a.m. when I watched it. So
It was hilarious because I can't believe he chose that photo.
Yeah.
It's such an Aaron
remember-
thing to do.
Yeah.
I remember them saying when I got my passport, "Don't smile," but I didn't go.
Like
Oh.
you had an agenda.
Right, and I even got my passport in New Orleans, which is the worst. So
Wow.
Why is it the worst?
go there, and then you'll know.
You'll know.
I actually got my driver's license today, and it was not a good experience. I was at the BMV 3 times this week.
When you say BMV, what is that?
Bureau of Motor Vehicles.
Oh, we don't call it
We have
that.
a DMV.
Same.
Yeah, I've heard all the different terminologies.
That's
I just try
interesting.
to avoid them all.
We don't even have DMV.
Because the new, you have to get the star on there for the so-and-so, whatever it is, ID, you know.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna change with air travel and everything. So I had to jump through some hoops, and they said to me, you can smile, but don't show any teeth. And I had to take off my glasses. So I'm like,
Really?
and they're like, you showed teeth. We got to do that again. So I'm like,
Poor
What
Brandi.
is with that?
it was, I don't know. My teeth
I would have had to have asked him.
I told
She's
him
like,
nobody's
I
gonna
like
recognize
my
me
teeth.
without my glasses anyway. So
Yeah, I know. I just like when Nate said we're on the lookout for this man. So that was funny.
I don't know if you've noticed since you were a part of this podcast, Chad, but I have developed quite the distaste for your counterpart on Nateland. That would be Aaron.
She's putting it on the record, folks. This might
And-
be dangerous in the future.
And
I think
I
since the
really-
addition of Dusty, he's become more easily irritated. Like I feel like he's not having as good of a time. Truthfully,
why do you
Mm,
think that is, folks?
I can only speculate, but I think he's been
That's why.
I think he's been uprooted. I think everyone's more interested in Dusty's view on conspiracy theories than they are about Aaron's intelligence or lack thereof at moments.
Spoons. Well, I loved when he mentioned that he liked cake, and everyone in the whole world at the same time collectively thought, we know.
We know.
well, I just love that he mentioned the Great British Bake Off. I could have talked about that all day.
What
I-
a great show!
Thank
what
you.
a great
I love
show!
it. Listen, it puts our bakers to shame, and I'm sorry. I have friends who bake, and you guys are awesome, but it's just the way they use like real ingredients,
Mhm.
you know, and
I
how
actually
they
work at a
don't know.
bakery part time, and it's made me appreciate it even more. But no, there's a TV show on right now called it's like Holiday Bake Off,
Yes,
and I've been
My
watching
kids
that
like
as
that.
well, and it's not bad. It's not bad.
it's fun.
Yeah.
Aaron did hit the nail on the head, though, when he talked about it, because the best thing about the Bake Off is the camaraderie.
Mhm.
They're not catty,
No,
and it's really difficult sometimes to watch a lot of shows from here in the U.S. because people want to.
They
well, I
want
think
to...
they do. They
they're-
encourage that, like
Yeah, they
producers
do.
and
That-
things like that. If
yeah,
you watch
that's
all the
not my
cooking
jam.
shows, like on Food Network, the
Gordon Ramsay?
dramatic music, and you're like,
Yeah.
dude, you're just cooking. Chill out.
No, he's got to yell the F word every time he's on TV.
I know. And you're like,
So-
your
but
mama taught you to cook.
They're running short of time on British Bake Off, and
Mama.
they're like, "Let me help you. I got done. Can I help you? It's gonna be okay." I love it.
I don't like that. See, I'm like,
Oh no, I love it.
it's supposed to be about competition.
No.
Don't help me.
No. That's grace, baby.
Jacy, your sign looks like it is cussing, but
It's litter. But
don't litter.
don't
Don't
They
litter
made a
W,
mess.
Texas.
don't
Don't you
mess
litter.
with
Don't you litter
Texas.
on George W. Bush's lawn, Texas.
Don't. I know. Yeah. Okay. But what about these Skyline chili, Brandi?
Yeah, I am from the Midwest. I've had Skyline chili many times. People are very strong in their opinions about it, one way or the other.
That true,
Cincinnati
Chad?
style
What do you
chili
like?
is over noodles.
What do you like, Brandi?
I like it on a chili dog. It's maybe not the first one I'm going to buy, but sure, I'll have a Skyline chili dog. Had it last weekend or the weekend before.
So there's
at a family
chocolate in
gathering.
it?
I think that's a rumor. Somebody on the
Mm.
Nateland fan page said that is just a myth. But there is cinnamon in it. I believe there's little cinnamon in it.
Chad, do you know anything about this chili?
Yes, so my brother and I frequent Kansas City pretty often to go watch baseball games, and so every time
How
we
fun
go,
is that?
he claims we have to grab as many cans as our bag can hold, and I'm like, man.
He likes it that much.
But like here in Texas, we pride ourselves on making homemade chili
Yeah.
in like several ways. A deer chili is very popular this time of year,
Mhm.
but so Skyline's okay. It's
Yeah.
mid.
It makes
Chad.
sense that you guys like to
Midland?
make your own chili.
I
Yeah.
need to tell you, Chad, my counter story. I'm from the Midwest,
Mhm.
and when I go to Texas, I load up on Whataburger spicy ketchup.
That's fair. That's fair. I was wondering
Yeah.
because you're from Indiana, correct?
I am.
I was wondering where you got the hat from.
Whataburger.
Well,
No,
thank you, Brandi.
really.
Yeah. My childhood best friend lives in Baytown,
Oh,
down
yeah.
in Houston area.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, Whataburger and Buc-ee's
Yep.
for sure.
How about some
100%.
biscuits? You guys a
I
big
didn't ever have
fan
any
of
biscuits with
biscuits?
Tracy. So
the
Biscuits and gravy.
cookie biscuits?
maybe growing up, we
Oh.
might have had home style biscuits and gravy for sure.
What do they say in England? You know, when they have biscuits?
Crumpets?
Ye-
I have no idea.
Oh, I'm thinking of fish and chips. I don't know. I don't know, guys.
That's good too.
Where's your best fish and chips, Chad?
Funny story. The best fish and chips I've ever had was actually at a Irish pub in downtown Montgomery, Alabama.
Hmm.
Okay.
Oddly
Don't
enough,
see that every day.
no.
Anybody else have a favorite fish
We
and
should-
chips?
Ask Dusty.
No,
if
I'm
he's
from
been
the
there.
Northeast. We don't really eat. I mean, I guess we eat lobster. So I don't know. They have fish and chips, but
Must be
Have
nice.
you had a lobster
I
dog?
don't know. What?
I will shout
lobster
out to
dog.
Raglan Road.
A
Raglan
lobster
Road
dog?
and,
You mean a lobster
Disney
roll?
Springs.
No, I
There's
don't
nothing
know.
wrong
They're
with fish and
advertising
chips.
them here
Okay.
all over the place. It's like lobster dogs at this place, lobster dogs at this place. And it's like a hot dog bun full of lobster.
Yeah, we
man.
call it a lobster roll.
Lobster roll.
Well, they're calling it
Wow.
lobster dogs down
But
here.
there's no dog in there.
Yeah.
Well, I hope not.
Like
but there
hot
might
dog.
be. There might be.
I'll tell you, I
Um,
just knock that meat off and not eat the bun and just eat the lobster. Ain't no time for those extra carbs.
No, what I think is that you should toast the bun and butter it. And
That's what we do.
That's a lobster
That's what we
roll.
do. Yeah.
we
Okay. This is hilarious. All right. So what
Well-
about? All right. Speaking of Aaron, okay, Jen, what do you think about him saying that people shouldn't pull over?
Thinking it.
They
I
need to
was
just keep
thinking
going to drive.
Well, look, he said a lot of people commenting saying they're driving so wait they're
Laughing so
almost
hard.
they're driving so hard they laugh. They're laughing so hard they laugh so hard they have to stop driving.
Mhm.
when he said there's so many people saying that, I was thinking, literally, so many people comment that it can't be true. Like, there's no way that many people are pulling over because this podcast is that funny. And I think it's the funniest podcast in the world.
Yeah,
and I don't
course.
even have to pull over. So,
But he's a comedian, so they don't think anything's really funny.
That's
They're
also
just
probably
like,
fair. Yeah.
what?
They're not easily impressed, I should say.
Jen is doubting that people are really pulling over.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
What were you talking about, Jacy?
Oh, I was just talking about, like, I don't know. I thought you said, like, Aaron doesn't think, like, it's funny.
Oh, he doesn't think people are really pulling over. Well, I don't know what he thinks. Ugh, I'm all confused.
It's okay.
Just keep going.
Okay, what about Brian doing the computer again? Or what did Nate say? Get a typewriter?
Oh my gosh. I think that we should
Hand it
start
over
a
to Laura.
poll. We should start a poll in the group.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it when I zone out. I'm going to go switch over to the Facebook page and start it because somebody said that people want that. And I think that we do.
I think we
want
do.
it.
I don't know. Chad, what do you say?
Most of the podcasts I listen to or watch, like, there's someone off screen who does, like, all the computer work. It's not always someone, like,
Oh.
in the midst of the conversation. They'll be like, hey, look this up for me. And then, like, they continue on with the conversation. So I think it's unique that somebody on air is the one doing all the investigating.
Sure.
Well, you got to make them earn their keep. Is that what you just said, Brandi? Remember where we talked about that thing where Nate just repeats everything?
Yes.
I did it.
I take it as a compliment. You thought it was funny.
Well, I like it was like delayed listening. I heard you.
What
way
about the
after.
the nose whistle and the news anchor's earpiece? That was funny.
I thought that was funny, and I thought that we should be talking into each other's ears during this podcast, but we kind of are, but
Yeah.
so where people couldn't hear it, you know?
I wouldn't be able to focus. I would just say whatever you said to me, I would say it.
You think
I'm
that
like,
I would be
oh.
able to focus?
No.
You're right.
What about this Lebanon parade or Lebanon? Then Dusty said that he got corrected.
He did.
Ooh. Oh, he pronounced it wrong? Lebanon is incorrect?
Lebanon. Yeah,
Okay.
Dusty said Lebanon or
Okay.
Lebanon or
Lebanon.
something.
I said it right then. I was baptized
but
at
yeah.
Lebanon Baptist Church as a teenager. I make sure I said it right. Not in that Lebanon, though.
No. Yeah. Well, I was just obviously just laughing at how I know he probably was just joking, but how bitter he came across in his way that his
Bitter
friend
Bates?
only bitter Bates.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
now we found it.
Darn.
Sorry, guys. I come out with
that
my
was
best
it.
stuff
That
about
was
30
it.
minutes into this thing.
We need you. That's why we need you here. But anyways, it was just funny to see him pout.
Yeah.
Did he literally pout?
He probably didn't. I could see it in his worried expression.
You wanted it to be real so much so that you're not going to say no to that.
I'm Batesville, so
I pictured a
I
Clint
got-
Smith illustration of him pouting off to the side of the parade whenever he told the story.
with his
With
head like
tears.
this. Yeah.
And I like get where he's coming from. I mean, he's born and raised there, and has never been
Yes.
asked to be, was it the chancellor? What was it? The
Parade
Grand
marshal.
Master, Grand
Grand
Marshal,
Duke.
right?
Grand
Yeah,
Marshal, yeah.
yeah.
I think.
But
What's
A
I get it.
chancellor
Dude?
sounds a little more like a Mardi Gras thing, like that kind of parade.
Hey, I've been to a lot of those.
Mhm.
Don't care to tell you any stories though. So
we weren't gonna ask.
you
That's
know
a
what,
whole
girl?
different
Okay,
podcast.
let's just put this out there. I will put this one thought out there. A popular item to throw from a float during Mardi Gras is underwear. Is that not disgusting?
100%.
Depends. Is it like a brand new bag or like?
I mean, it's a new pair of underwear, but still, who's touched it? Okay, and you're getting it in public in front of other people, and then what if it hits the floor? And it just is a whole.
Jen, this is not Nudeland, so.
Oh, we could make it. No, we can't.
No,
You're
we
making
cannot.
me blush, Jen.
No,
Um,
we cannot.
No, we cannot. Brandy, you put The Fugitive. I have no comment about that. So does anybody have a comment about that? I don't.
They were talking back about surviving out on the ground and covering yourself with leaves or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. And he said Richard Kimball, and when he said it instantly, I was like, The Fugitive.
Richard Kimball?
Yeah, Dr. Richard Kimball. That's a great.
Oh, I said Gimbal.
A great movie, Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones.
All right.
What's a humanitarian?
That's the get off my plane.
Oh, what's a humanitarian?
Isn't it, Brandi?
What?
Get off my
plane? No, that's Air Force One. Just kidding. Humanitarian. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Harrison Ford's been in a lot of flicks.
Humanitarian is a zoo to go look at humans.
Yeah.
Nope. That's not real.
That sounds like a jail.
The Office
I was
reference.
really offended they didn't invite me to be an exhibit at that zoo. So. That one really went really well.
I think
people are pulling over right now.
I think you just gave us an image that we're just seeing Jen like in here, princess, like behind bars, like this.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Mardi Gras, baby.
Mardi Gras, that's right. Yeah.
All right. Brian is asked about Dusty, if he's really like that in real life or if he's like a character. Brian says, I'm not sure.
So,
and I don't remember when Dusty said this, but I liked when Dusty said, I think when he was talking about the new mattress or something. I don't know, when he said, I only have nice things because of this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was fun.
Somebody commented in the group this week about that and said that they had seen Dusty's act and they didn't feel like his act was the same as the podcast, like him. But they were like, but everybody else's checks out. So I don't know what that's about, but maybe we'll all find out in April.
I've seen his clips.
Mattress, though, after all those years from the hand-me-down.
I was getting the heebie-jeebies. I was like, stop talking about this mattress, man. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it.
Speaking of which, Helix mattress. Hey.
We
would love to try out one of your mattresses for you. Tell all the folks how wonderful they are.
I am moving in a month or so, so I was looking up. Helix mattresses are so expensive.
They're very expensive.
I was like, could I get this and then try it for 100 days and then get like a more reasonable mattress? But
honestly, they're like everything that they read ads for like isn't cheap. I will say I did buy a solo stove for some friends for Christmas, but I haven't heard solo stove in a while. I feel like
I bought one too.
It was on sale.
I bought one.
It was on sale.
I do.
Well, looky here, folks. The rich so and so's of this podcast.
Yeah.
It was definitely a
Hoodie
gift.
you're wearing, Jacy?
What?
Is that a velour hoodie?
Velour.
Velour.
Viore.
Viore.
He blended Viore and velour.
Athletic greens.
Viore.
Also expensive.
It's the Folkland version of it.
So I will say I don't feel like Viore is that expensive compared to like Lululemon, like brands that, you know?
Yeah.
So my if people don't know, I live on a missionary property, and my neighbor. Oh, I can hear myself in the echo down the way. She has to raise her own support, like for her salary, and she walked out in some Viore pants the other day, and I was like, "Hold up, girl, is this what people know they're paying for or something?" But she got them on. She had like a promo code, but it's still it's like $100.
I was like, I just
Was
know
it
where
Nate?
the good Goodwills are.
No, because she gave me the promo code, and then I compared it, and it was the same kind of discount as Nate's code, so it's not special.
It's
not special.
I'll tell you something about Texas that's special. The trucks are big, and the women
are bigger.
Bigger.
Chad,
no comment.
Can
no.
you speak to that?
My wife is 5 foot, 105 pounds. So
lovely,
Yee,
Texas lass.
doggy.
yeah.
I've had these in the wrong ears this whole time.
That makes sense.
It does.
Alaska is bigger than Texas.
Everything sounds so much louder.
And if you ever hang out with someone from Alaska, they will let you know that too.
Oh.
Well, I lived with people from Alaska for several years, and they never told me that one time. So.
Because you're not from Texas.
Oh, that's what it is.
Oh, that's the requirement.
It's a little rivalry
I'm
we
better
have
than
with
you.
them. Yeah.
That seems
so big.
But they don't have the biggest ranch in the country, so we do.
I'd like to just share with you randomly, as this pertains to nothing that we're talking about. I took a group picture last night at a function at work, and I was standing next to some young folks, and I was like, they were counting down the picture. Counting down the picture. And I was like, all right, suck it in. And then I said, oh, and stick your tongue on the roof of your mouth so you don't have, like, droop here. And the smarty pants guy who was standing next to me said, or you could just not eat so many biscuits. And then I just stared at him, and he said, well, I don't know if it's biscuits for you. And I was like, it's not, but
That's funny.
I mean,
so,
okay.
Don't eat so many biscuits.
What a charming young fella.
Now, I don't understand. When they were counting the people and the cities and doing all that, I literally checked out both times I listened to it. I don't know, when you start throwing numbers out, my creative brain goes, bye.
Well, and they didn't do a great job because they didn't reference, they talked about, I guess, the major cities. So obviously Houston is huge, San Antonio bigger than everyone thought. Well, Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex, which they mentioned, is the second largest metroplex in the country behind only Baltimore, Washington, D.C. And then you have El Paso, which is way out in the middle of nowhere. And it's a huge city, too.
This is what happens. Sorry, Chad. This is what happens.
I did zone out.
No,
100%.
I was just...
In fact, when Jacy, you were talking about zoning out, I thought, I didn't zone out during that. And then Chad opens his mouth, and I was like,
And I was going to compliment, and I was going to say, we finally have some Texas facts on Folkland, probably more than Nateland.
Yeah.
And then Jen yawns.
I think the funniest thing is Dallas and Houston, the people from each city have a huge rivalry with each other.
What is happening?
Well, Houston's awful, but
4 or 5 hours away from each other.
They're probably about 5.5. And that's how you measure things in Texas also. You don't measure by miles. You measure by hours, by
Rhode Islands?
Distance. Yeah. How many Rhode Islands are you away from? Yeah.
Did they say how many Rhode Islands we could fit into Texas on Nateland?
No, they just referenced how the King Ranch is larger than Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whenever people, especially here in Atlanta, when we're talking traveling and where do you live, and so people will be like, how do you get to work? And I'm like, I take a road, and then it goes to an interstate, one of them, I don't know. Anyway, so one time someone came over, and we were eating having tea and eating dessert. It wasn't biscuits, and they were asking me about how I get to work, and I said, I'm not going to tell you. I'm just not. I was because I've had this conversation so many times, and I end up telling you, and then you don't know what I'm talking about. So then you try to tell me what you know, and I don't know what you're talking about. And this literally happened at work Friday. So I just started saying, how do you, when someone tells me where they live or where they drive from or what, I just say, just tell me in minutes. Don't get into
That's fair.
which roads you take.
Is your
just
commute.
I want to know the commute. Because I'm
What's
from
your
Canada,
commute
A.
Well, Brandi, you have some artificial turf behind you. There's a lot of baseball talk. I zoned out for that too. I always do with baseball.
Get out of here.
So
your
go
problem?
ahead, Brandi. All I heard was that kids were oinking at Aaron. So take it away.
I love every time they talk about baseball. I always find it delightful. Although I think it was very poor sportsmanship to oink. That was very rude. That kid did not deserve a special prize at the end of the season for that. No.
Wait, what? He got a special prize for oinking at Aaron?
They have a good sportsmanship award, and a lot of
nowadays that probably didn't exist back then.
No, it was
Boo. Ooh.
Yeah, thank you, Chad.
You gotta have good sportsmanship. But my favorite part, well, Aaron laughed about the catcher probably using just a regular glove and not a catcher's mitt. And I was like, oh, he just pointed out his upbringing a little bit more there because I grew up with baseball and softball and no kid ever had a catcher's mitt growing up. It was just everybody had a glove. Yeah. You might play right field later with it or whatever.
Oh.
I feel like that's a little dangerous.
Well, no, it's fine. I mean, we had gear, we had helmets, and
but it hurts to catch the ball without.
Are you saying that Aaron had better like uniforms?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, on the Sandlot, I was the Sandlot kids, and Aaron was that other team.
Whoa, hang on. Even on the Sandlot, though, Porter had a catcher's mitt.
Yeah.
Bring the facts, Chad. Bring them.
Yeah. Anyway, my favorite part of all
no
the baseball
rebuttal.
Talk, I will say, AstroTurf ended up, people don't like it. I will say that about it.
Well, what was the whole deal with Dusty and having a conspiracy about it? Like they were saying if he was on the team that he would only be where'd they say he would be?
Well, they said that he had to play like shortstop. He would have to stop at the outfield because the outfield's turf.
As far as I could go, folks.
I submitted a comment. I'm interested to see if they read it or not. But so they talk about turf fields in the NFL and Major League Baseball. There's only 5 Major League Baseball fields that have out of 30 that have artificial turf.
Oh.
Yeah.
And there's 16 of 30 NFL stadiums have real grass. So only 14 have artificial turf.
Mm-hmm.
But there's all these studies coming out now, and I know all this because I run the youth sports leagues here in the town that I work in.
Nice.
And
all of them.
All these studies are coming out about like artificial turf is actually worse on your body. Like there's a higher risk for knee, ankle injuries, concussion.
I mean, it makes sense. It does not feel good.
It's turf, a little bit of pad, and then concrete.
There's no concrete on this one.
There's no concrete on that one? That one's safe.
Oh my goodness.
To round out the end of the baseball talk and we can move on, I can't end the talk without saying that it was just delightful listening to Nate talk about his little girl playing softball and taking on
that was cute.
The role of catcher now and how much he was enjoying it. I enjoyed the daddy Nate talk. That was sweet.
Yeah, you can tell he was proud.
Yeah.
He said something else about Harper on this episode towards the end.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was.
It was when they talked about running away.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to talk about this because I have a story.
Because Jen ran away.
That's right. I tell this story in kids ministry a lot, which probably makes all the parents feel very happy that volunteers teach their kids the Bible every week. But I talk about it because it was a fun story, okay, folks? No one was harmed in the making of Jen's childhood. Well, not at least in this one. So, my parents, as you know, we lived in a trailer at this point in my life, as you know, because you know that. I was about 5, and my mom was making paschetti for dinner, and I was very sick of paschetti. Had it quite a bit growing up.
Were there any peat balls that day?
Any what?
Nothing.
Okay. So she made red beans and rice a lot too, and it's my number one hated food. So anyway, I was done.
Beef stroganoff for me. Continue.
I love beef stroganoff. I love beef stroganoff.
This is getting
liver and onions. I would never touch. You couldn't get me to eat it, and I was surprised at how often they cooked it. But spaghetti again, and I was done. I said, "No more will I eat this trailer park trash food." And
How old was this version of Jen?
I was 5, so of course I didn't say what I just said. But
trash.
This is poor people's food. Why do I
go?
Just wait, I'm gonna grow up to be a princess. You just wait and see.
Brandy's more passionate about this story than Jen is.
It's because it's a character. You are giving her a character. You're giving Brandi a character to play.
Well, yeah, but right before you said that, I was like, never mind. My voice now sounds like a 90-year-old woman from Boston. I'm sick of this spaghetti.
I'm taking the car.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
I took my tricycle, okay, and I packed a little bag. And I remember somebody was like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "I'm leaving. I'm going to Granny's house," which was a good distance, and I did not know how to get there. Okay, folks.
How many Rhode
And-
Islands away was it?
30.
Not even one. I don't know. Are you always amazed at how far it takes to walk somewhere? Like, does your phone ever, your GPS, like accidentally switch to like walking, and all of a sudden you freak out because it's like 8 hours and
Yeah.
almost in 73 minutes, 8 hours and 37
9 hours
minutes.
and 3 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, how'd you do that math so fast?
That wasn't even the right math. It's actually 9 hours and 13 minutes. But anyway,
Fast math Chad. So anyway, I literally kicked rocks. I got on my tricycle and we had a gravel driveway and I could not even pedal down it. And my mom was like, "What are you going to do if your grandma's eating spaghetti tonight?" And I was like, "Then I'm going to go to my dad's house," which was like way further, hour drive at least. And,
on your tricycle or in a car?
In a car. It would be 54 minutes on the trike. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But then my mom said, "What are you gonna do if they're eating spaghetti at your dad's house?" And I said, "Shoot, that's a good point, woman." And that was the end of my runaway story. So, yeah.
Wow. I tried, but then I realized after I packed my bag, we lived on the second floor of an apartment. I couldn't get downstairs, so then I put my stuff away. That's literally how it went.
Why couldn't you get downstairs?
Because I knew there was so many variables. I'd bump into somebody
You
or
chickened out.
yeah, I think I was 5'2". I think that's the ripe age to run away. All right. Was it Midland that they said the oldest man who was really
Yeah.
a woman found?
Yeah.
Go figure they would discover it was a woman and then just keep calling it a man, right?
This what's this place? This isn't. This
Probably
is
looked like one.
Midlothian, right? Is that right, Chad?
It's my hometown. That's where I graduated from.
Midlothian.
What?
Yep.
Midlothian, baby.
The cement
Nice.
capital of Texas.
Yeah. I should
The
have
what?
worn that hat
The
tonight.
what capital?
Cement?
Cement.
Cement?
Cement.
Oh, that's
Cement.
Not what that sounded like.
No.
my
Also, the smallest skyscraper.
Oh yeah,
What
that
is-
was so funny.
I couldn't picture it in my mind. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Wichita Falls.
They
It's
showed a picture of it, Jacy.
it's small.
Oh, I wasn't
yeah.
looking.
Oh, I wasn't looking.
Those people in that town were smart. That would be an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
not?
except 95% of it was a stairwell or something.
So Brandi just called everyone from Wichita Falls stupid.
You
Oh,
bunch of
Have I ever
idiots.
whoa, have you ever watched Folkland before?
Look, she can't. She can't handle this, guys. She can't handle this. Bad press.
You can't handle the truth, can you, Brandi?
You know that I'm not gonna call anybody a name.
I like that. Okay, in our notes here it says Nate asking what interest is, and immediately it made me think the response should have been something you don't have, because he just zoned out so
No,
much.
I know. Well, Six Flags started in Texas. It used to be its own country.
Mm-hmm.
It
No.
also,
What?
Six
right?
Flags did.
Not Six Flags.
Six
Texas
Flags?
was its own country.
No, that's what I meant.
Oh,
You never
okay.
heard of the Six Flags country? Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Six Flags here.
They
Yep, you
had
do in
Six
Georgia.
Yeah,
Flags,
same.
So they thought,
We have Six Flags New
might
England.
as well be a
It's
country with our own
literally
flag.
15 minutes away
Flags
from my
too.
house. And Amarillo, Texas distributed helium.
That's interesting.
Blah blah. Moving on.
Amarillo.
Oprah. Got sued there too.
Wait,
And-
Dusty's heckler bought a shirt.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
He
Sorry.
did. True story.
Okay, move on.
We are just gonna power through these last few points here. Most famous celebrity from Texas. Blah yada yada yada. We don't know. Dusty's Aunt Pud. and
Okay.
she had Texas rabbits.
Do you remember
apparently.
that?
Nope.
Okay, so
Texas
his
rabbit.
aunt, we say aunt, well, yeah. Okay, so his
Oh.
Aunt Pud lived in Texas and they visited her every year and he loved it because he loved the rabbits when he was a kid. When he got to be a teenager, the rabbits were eating her garden and so she asked him to shoot the rabbits with a BB gun and he was talking about his trauma, and they never went back to Aunt Pud's after that. Poor Aunt Pud ruined Dusty.
Not little Peter Cottontail.
Yes.
I will say
Aunt Pud, you're sick.
The one celebrity I think
watching
they didn't talk about
She
was
ate good nurse that summer.
Jamie Foxx is from a small town in East Texas.
Oh.
He's
I was
still
like-
my money.
Yeah. See, I was like, he's
When I'm in
more famous
need.
than most of those people they mentioned. Anyway,
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
I ain't saying
more famous
he's
than Aunt
gold
Pud
digger.
for sure.
I'm in a whole different circle over here. I'm like Dr. Tony Evans and Priscilla Schreier, Beth Moore, all from Texas.
Joel Osteen.
Hey-o.
I mean, he's here.
He
right
who
now,
must not be named.
he's in this
Yeah.
room.
Oh.
He's the Voldemort
Jacy.
of
That's not a
pastors
good
for
look.
sure.
It's not a good look. Shame on
Folkland.
you.
It's a comedy podcast. Everything's up for grabs.
Oh, yeah, right, kid. How could
okay.
I have been so...
Put your cigar
All
away,
right.
Jen. Put it away.
Yeah.
Put the hat on.
Don't do
Don't
it.
encourage
do
me,
it.
Brandy.
Oh gosh.
We got-
No.
We got
They
Karen.
want you to say that about Joel Osteen, don't you know?
There you go. Okay, moving on.
I'm not taking this off.
Oh
We
wait.
had a few conspiracy theories at
Wait,
Y2K.
Did
Nothing
you-
to do with
wait,
Did
technology.
you guys
We-
see the
we-
lady who complained about the conspiracy theories someone posted
Yes.
in the group? I thought
Oh,
that was
yeah.
so stupid and so funny.
We're sorry. I don't know why you would post that and think people are gonna agree with you. Move on. That's why.
Well-
That's why he says. That's why there's the forward button. Hit. Go
Yeah.
She
fast forward it.
commented it on the podcast, so I don't think she was. It wasn't like in the group. I don't know
thought I
if she's
saw it
in the group. Well, they took a screenshot and somebody posted it to
Oh.
the group.
Okay.
But I
That's
do
what it
hope
is.
she's in there so she can rebut her comment. I don't know if that's a word, but
JC, did you have something?
I
you
was
were
just gonna
saying-
say very quickly before we, breeze past because they breezed past or Nate breezed past how he lived in Texas for a little while and he literally waited forever to say that, and I thought
Yeah.
that that's because he probably just thought about it in that moment, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I did live there. I
Well,
feel like
and
that was a Nate thing.
I was shocked to find out because Del Rio, Texas, is like it's down there. Like you have to drive
Really?
through everything in Texas to get there. It's in like the very lower, like western corner.
Did they have a lot
So-
of good cloud work down there? Cloud
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
magician work? Yeah.
I
can
thought you said cloud.
I thought
I was
so
like,
too.
clouds?
Can you guys answer this question for me? Do I look like Carmen
maybe.
San Diego when I like tilt this to
Yes.
cover one eye?
You look old,
Where
a
did
little
you
old
go?
Hollywood.
No, I love that game.
I
That was a
like
good
that
game.
we didn't read this when someone wrote this in the notes. Maybe it was you, Brandy, about Aaron running away from home and Nate saying you didn't want to carry on the Notre Dame
Oh,
legacy.
yes, yes.
His parents never went after him because they knew he'd come home when he was hungry.
Oh my goodness. Aaron's gonna hate Folkland. No, okay.
Let's have some breakfast bites, guys.
we didn't cover it.
Wait, Y2K.
Oh yeah, please talk about this because
Alright.
I remember
I don't
that.
know that I understand. Like I was alive then. I was
I'm
8.
38, so I remember really when I realized that it wasn't going to be a problem is when we were watching everybody else have their New Year's and it was fine, and I'm like, duh, we're all in different time zones, people.
Okay, well,
China already had their New Year's, so I just thought all this big conspiracy, it was all like in America and us talking,
Hold
and I'm
on.
like, we really
You-
think we're the center of everything.
You probably knew as much about it as I did because I think what we were told and what we thought is that like the world would just be over. But what I think the actual conspiracy had to do with computers and how the date
I heard that too.
wasn't programmed to go past
Yeah.
1999.
Yeah, so things would shut down or like blow up or like, you know,
Blow
everything
up.
would just no,
I
like
think it
the
was
grid
more
would be
about the
gone. I don't know.
economic collapse and like
Yeah.
you know
And
banks.
nothing
Our
happened.
grid would be
Just-
fine
yeah.
in Texas, by the way.
Because you have
True.
your own. Or...
We do.
Turbine,
Yeah.
wind
Did y'all
turbine.
watch the podcast, Jen?
They didn't talk about that.
They did.
$100 they didn't talk about that.
Yeah,
$1,000
they-
bucks they did.
Oh, I just got $1,000 richer.
Let us know in the comment, folks.
Did they talk about how
They
Texas
did.
has its own? They did.
They did.
They did. Because we did
didn't
lose the power
shake on
grid
it.
in 2021.
storm.
Everything shut down because of a huge ice storm.
Oh.
My city didn't have power for 5 days.
Were we doing the podcast back
terrible.
then?
And it was, we weren't yet. No. But we had
That's
like 4 or
good.
5 people die because it was sub-freezing temperatures for 5 straight days.
That's really
Wow.
sad.
But here we go. Here, it's not even a conspiracy. I'll let you in on it. So Texas does consume so much energy that we actually sell off to Chicago and other big cities in the U.S. And so part of the problem was we had sold off so much energy that year that we didn't have enough in like reservation to fight through like 10 straight days of sub-zero temperatures, because in Texas it doesn't freeze that often and no one prepared for it.
That is a
And you-
conspiracy.
So Brandi, ask your friend in Baytown about how the refinery shut down for like a week because they all froze
Yes.
over.
Her husband works at one of the refineries. Yeah.
That's insane. Breakfast
So-
bites.
Yeah.
Breakfast
Wait, I
bites.
was
We
gonna
didn't
ask
cover nothing
Chad.
of Texas.
Yeah, I was going to ask Chad, did we cover more about Texas because you were here than they did?
Probably. I mean, that's what's funny is several people said that we need a Texas 2, and I'm like, we need a Texas 1. Like they covered little to nothing, I feel like.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think we will get a part 2. I think they even talked about that at the end.
Yeah,
Good.
I agree. There'll be more Texas.
All right, breakfast bites. I'm just going to shout them out.
Go
Shout
ahead.
them out. Bedford Fall Bates. Brandi, you came up with that? Was that
Good
on
one.
the episode? Or you just
Yeah.
wrote that?
No.
No, I wrote it because he was commenting that he was going to have a Folkland themed episode of Nateland featuring Matt and Chad. I
Oh,
was like,
right, in the comments. Yeah,
Bedford
when he said that.
Falls Bates bringing the happy ending.
More like bullcrap Bates.
Yes, this
wrote
is
that.
the end of my
We
statement.
discussed. Okay.
Jen, do you
I
know what
will. I
Bedford
will
Falls
blur your
is?
mouth and your
No.
lip flaps.
You don't know what Bedford Falls is a reference to?
Mm-mm. Is it a
Me
soap
neither.
opera?
Okay,
That's
I'll
so
see you guys
sad.
next week. I'm out of here.
Poor
Yeah.
Brandon.
All right. We got Blocked View, Bed Booker, Bothered Basketball, Breagle. I don't know what Breagle means. Banana
Nope.
Boat.
Somebody just made it up.
Flak Jacket Golf on Nateland YouTube commented, I don't joke about my helium. Breakfast Balloon Bates.
Yeah, he said that funny one-liner when Aaron was questioning him about the helium, and he got on his computer and he finally found something this
You were
episode,
right, Aaron.
and then he goes, "Oh, you were right."
Brian.
And
Yeah.
Brian says, "I don't joke about my helium,"
Yeah.
and Aaron goes, "Sorry,"
Oh.
and then they breezed past it, and I was like,
Hey,
"Don't
Chad,
question Brian about his notes. He has receipts. Brian has receipts."
he
Okay.
does. He's
According to
got 'em.
this.
And they're paper
According-
receipts.
yeah.
They're not
Paper
digital.
receipts.
They're in his shoebox.
They're
Yeah.
handwritten also.
Yeah. I just want to say thanks for coming on the show. It was great to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
The good old days,
Bringing a
reliving
little
them right
Texas
now.
Flair.
Yeah.
Memories
All right.
all alone in the moonlight.
One of my favorite movies ever is School of Rock, and when she sings that, it's just
I
Jen
hate
gets me.
Cats. It's the worst musical that was ever written, and I will publicly say that until I die.
Very controversial episode on Texas and all the things.
Cats.
Well, anyways, so if you guys enjoyed this episode and this podcast, please subscribe on the YouTube.
Even if you didn't enjoy it, do it anyway.
Even if you didn't enjoy it,
subscribe anyway. Yeah.
subscribe
it.
anyways. Follow
Do
us on
it. I dare
Instagram.
ya.
Oh, here she goes. Don't get her back. At Folkland_podcast on Instagram. Join us on there, and we will see you next week.
Thanks
Later,
for joining
folks.
us.
Goodbye, folks.